Good afternoon and welcome to another episode of Careers and Coffee. My name is Kaylee and I am going to be your host for today's show with my colleague Kieran behind the scenes. Today we are discussing life as a degree apprentice with Liam and Lee. Liam and Lee are structural engineers apprentices at Superstructures and shall be sharing their experience of the apprenticeship journey. So let's welcome Liam and Lee. Hello, how are you both?
Good, thank you.
Good. Yes, I'm great, thank you. Okay, so we have previously had James Potter on Careers and Coffee speaking about Superstructures and what the company is and what the company does. But to give a bit of background knowledge, Liam, I'm going to come to you first to kick it off. So could you tell us a bit about Superstructures and what the company does?
So we're a structural consultancy working out of Ipswich, and we've got a little company based in Cambridge. So we do structural design, superstructure design, substructure design, ground investigations, site investigations, and that sort of thing, really.
No, that's great, thank you. And Lee, I know not all days are the same, but could you tell us what your roles are and what your average day looks like?
Yeah, so I'll come in the morning and I'll have jobs that I've been working on, or if it's a new job, then my team leader Darren will sort of run through it with me and see what I've got to do, and I'll crack on with it. And naturally there'll be things where, because I've only been here 6 months, there'll be stuff I don't know. So if there's ever stuff I don't know, I'll just get back with Darren and we'll sort of go over it so I can learn it. But apart from that, you speak to clients on the phone, architects on the phone all day about jobs you've done. And yeah, sometimes going on site if there's a good site visit what we can go to.
Amazing. So it sounds like you've got some good support there from your manager. And Lee, how long have you been with the company for?
6 or 7 months now.
Yeah, and oh, perfect. So quite new to the apprenticeship role then.
Yeah.
So Liam, Liam, as you have I've got two on the screen and I'm trying to
don't worry, everyone does it here as well.
And you both begin with the letter L, but yeah. So Liam, as you are both completing a degree level apprenticeship, could you explain how that looks? So for example, how many hours do you spend working? Do you complete assignments or exams or on the job assessments?
So it used to be, before pre-COVID, it used to be that we'd go in for 1 week every 3 months and we'd do a block of just uni stuff and then we'd be sent work. But now, seeing as we can't go into uni and that sort of thing, it's all over Zoom calls and Teams meetings where we'll do once every Friday. We'll have a day of just solid uni work and we'll be allowed that time out of the office to go and sort it out. And then any extra uni work that we do is all outside of working hours.
Amazing. So you've got that blend of university studies, but also being in the office and that day-to-day role, which is
yeah, exactly.
Really interesting. So this one's actually going to be to the both of you. Okay. So when you first joined Superstructures, what did you find the most interesting to learn about?
Go first. I'd say going out on site and seeing things in person, because obviously before this job I've never done anything to do with construction really. So yeah, going out and seeing things in person for me.
And then for me, it would be just the sort of appreciation of how much goes into construction work. Like, not coming from the construction industry, you don't really pay much attention as to how much work and effort goes into it. But now being in the industry, it's quite sort of impressive. Yeah.
Yeah, eye-opening there, which is good. And Lee, could you speak about your transition from sixth form into an apprenticeship and how you prepared for this as well?
Yeah, so I got quite lucky because I'd done work experience. We have a work experience module at Suffolk One, and I've done work experience here in March, just before the first lockdown. So I had a week here, and then after that I sort of stayed in touch with James, and yeah, got it that way. But, and then had to apply to ARU, Anglia Ruskin University, and then apply to Superstructures as well.
Right, so work experience key. Brilliant.
Yeah, very cool.
And you know what, that's going to lead into my next question for you, Liam. So I was going to say, did you complete any work-related experience prior to applying for this opportunity? And if you did, which sounds like you did, how did this support you with your application and interview?
In terms of work-based work experience, I actually didn't do any work experience to do with construction. So we had one module which was sort of similar to what I do here, but that was the only real sort of experience I got behind, yeah, what we do here construction wise. So yeah.
And how do you think that helped you when applying for your application, that work experience?
I suppose I think it gave me a bit more of a understanding, so I could apply that during my interview, so I could say what I knew already, and I think that gave me a bit of an edge kind of thing.
Awesome. And Lee, how did you prepare for the application process for your degree apprenticeship? Because I'm sure it's different than the process of applying to university. So yeah, it'd be really interesting to kind of hear about that process.
Yeah, so it was sort of two applications almost. So one to work at the company, and then one for the uni application, which was a bit similar to if you're applying to uni, I can imagine. But in terms of knowing what grades you're predicted and stuff like that, where you have to submit. Yeah, it was two separate things really.
Yeah, amazing. So feels like it probably might sound like a bit more work for those thinking about it, but I'm sure it's absolutely worth doing. And to come into that as well. So again, this question is going to be to both of you, because I'd really like to hear both of your perspectives on this. But why did you choose the degree level apprenticeship route over other pathways?
I'd say it was because it's just more, you get more experience through it. It's better for you. You don't come out with all the debt of uni. All that sort of thing is all beneficial. And to be honest, I feel like I would progress more as a structural engineer doing this route. It only takes you an extra couple of years to get to where you would at uni. Yeah, I just genuinely think it's the best route you can take.
Yeah, same as Liam really. I was sort of weighing up the options, uni or going straight into an apprenticeship, and I wanted the experience of an apprenticeship, but then the degree of uni, and I just both of them combined really. So it's the best thing for me.
Like it. Thank you both for sharing that. So Liam, how do you balance work and study? So do you get any additional support from your employer as well?
Yeah, they're quite generous. I get any time needed to do uni work or anything, they'll allow me to do, whether it be in the office or on my uni day. And then any additional support I need from Mark, who's my mentor, he'll always help, or anyone around the office have any questions. They're always very forthcoming to help me. So yeah.
Brilliant. And so again, I'm going to throw this question out to both of you because I think it's really interesting to get both perspectives, because obviously everyone's an individual and will be experiencing things different. But what is one barrier that you've had to overcome since you have started the apprenticeship journey, and how did this help you with your professional development? So whoever wants to take that question first.
Yeah, I'd say balancing work and then uni work as well at the same time. So sort of finding time to do your uni work separate from work here, for if it's assignments or whatever, because that can take quite a lot of time. So you've got to manage your time quite well. And
then personally for me, it would be just the attention to detail. So from drawings and things, just the amount of detail that goes into them, and yeah, that sort of thing really takes time for me to get used to from when I started.
Thank you. And how so we know obviously we have these barriers and we do face them, and we do face these challenges in employment, but how did overcoming those barriers, how do they help you develop professionally, or how they helped you develop professionally?
Time management for me, I'd say.
Yeah.
Organisation skills, like organising my time well, whether that's keeping a diary and allocating certain time slots for things, so stuff like that.
Yeah, and then for me it would just be, like I say, just becoming more switched on with things like what needs to go where and why we're doing certain things, and how these little changes can make big differences.
That's key. That's some really good advice there. And we've had a question come in, so we've got a live question for you both. So did the debt of uni put you off attending university?
I wouldn't say it put me off, but it was a swaying factor, I'd say. It was something that came into consideration when I was thinking about it, because obviously when you come out of uni, it's a lot of money you have to pay back, and without that, it's a considerable weight off your shoulders kind of thing going into a job. So yeah,
I'd say wasn't so much the debt of uni, because you can sort of pay that off gradually, but more not having money during the 4 years while you're at uni was the thing for me.
Yeah, that's key. I like that, and I think that's gonna sell a lot of people on apprenticeships there. But so we've got another question come through. So how was your mentor picked at work, and what has having a mentor done for you?
So it was kind of a thing right from the beginning of when we started. Sort of Mark stepped up and he went on all these training courses to go and become our mentor essentially, and he'll sort of guide us through the whole sort of uni process and all our things, becoming like members of the ICE and things like that, all to help us progress not only through uni but as in a career as well.
Yeah, you probably know more than me on that.
Yeah,
so I'll let you say that.
That's fine. Yeah, you can just say same.
Yeah.
So question for both of you. What is one highlight that really stands out for you since starting your apprenticeship?
I'll go.
Yeah, you go first.
So I worked on a project in Leiston, which is a bit of a community project. I don't know how much I'm allowed to say about it, but I got invited to the grand opening when it's built. So I'd say that's definitely something that stands out for me.
Yeah.
And then in terms of me, I suppose it's difficult to pin down one specific moment. I mean, all the projects that I've been out to sort of see in the past sort of year and a half have all been quite they've all been quite sort of a highlight in terms of like you've had influence in it, so you can go out and see, oh, that was what I did, and that's quite a good feeling when you get that. So
yeah, thank you for sharing. That's great. And Lee, what skills, because obviously we know skills are really important, so if there's a student maybe thinking about wanting to become a structural engineer, what skills do you feel are important for your role?
So I'd say the two I've mentioned, so organisation skills, managing your time well, communication. You speak to a lot of clients, architects on the phone day to day, and also I'd say being inquisitive and asking a lot of questions, because you learn a lot.
Thank you. And Liam, do you have anything that you kind of want to add to that at all?
I don't think so. No, I think it's just very much, like Lee says, just, asking lots of questions and, basically what Lee said.
Especially as an apprentice, I think.
You summed it up so nicely. There was nothing.
Exactly. What can I add?
We've got another question come through. So when you started your engineering course at Suffolk One, did you have a future career in mind, or did this change during your studies? Oh, good question. Who wants to go first? Yeah,
I'll take this one first. I'd say yes. I was very I knew which way I wanted to go, but I was open to other options as well. I wasn't set in my ways. This is what I want to do. I'm going to go for it. I was very sort of open to suggestion, if that makes sense. So I knew it was engineering that I wanted to go into, but not specifically structures. And I think with the Suffolk One course, it does allow you to do that very well. It's very sort of, it helps you decide, I suppose, what you enjoy, because it covers all aspects. It's very broad in that respect.
Yeah, I'd say I had no clue what I was going to go into, but I've done the engineering course, and you sort of cover different modules on different sectors in engineering, and then that is where I learned that I wanted to go into structural engineering.
Yeah, I think that's going to be really nice for the students maybe at high school watching this, to know that actually you don't need to know exactly what you're going to do. You don't need your whole life planned out. So thank you for that. And we have another live questions come through. So what are your long-term plans? Good question. So say 5 and then 10 years time. Bit of self-reflection for you during this.
Obviously complete the degree will be the first plan, and then I suppose from there it's just getting more qualified as an engineer, a structural engineer, and just gaining knowledge in every aspect of the job. I'd say would be the best thing for me.
Yeah, I mean, I'd follow that up. So one for 5 years would be obviously finishing the degree, but then 10 years time, sort of looking towards chartership, hopefully. So that's sort of the next progression. So you've got degree, and then institute, and then obviously Institute of Structural Engineers, and then chartership. That would be the end goal kind of thing, really.
Amazing. Nice to see they've got that progression sort of hat on there. Awesome. And how did you get on at school? Were you academic or more practical?
I'd say a bit of both, really. I was sort of average, didn't excel at either, but sort of in the middle, and I was just knuckled down and got what I needed to, really. So that wasn't.
Yeah, I'd say more academic for me, definitely. I could do the practical side, but definitely more academic, head in the books. Yeah.
Awesome. And sort of following on from school, so I know you both attended one sixth form, but how was school for you as well? And how did you find that? Maybe so you've touched on sort of the academic side, but how was the career advice as well? Did you find that really useful to help you make that transition into deciding to go to one?
I think from a school point of view, it was very I was very unsure, as in when I was beginning my GCSEs, as to what I wanted to do. So I took very broad subjects, but towards the end of school, I'd sort of narrowed in. This is what I want to do. This is what I'm better at, to say. So that was, and the career advice was sort of follow what you're good at, really. So that's and what I ended up doing, really.
Yeah, mine's a bit similar to that. I knew I was good at maths, which was a strong point of mine. But apart from that, I didn't really have a clue going into college. So I sort of looked through the courses. And the engineering course was the most appealing to me. So
that's really good insight there, because not everybody knows what they want to do. So thank you so much for sharing that. And to kind of round up on this last question. So I'm going to put this out to both of you. So what would be one bit of advice you would give someone interested in undergoing a degree apprenticeship?
You'll take this one first.
Mine, I've said it before. It would just be research into companies that offer the apprenticeship, the degree apprenticeship, and get in contact with them, because you might be able to do work experience there. You might be able to go for a week in the summer holidays and just get to know the people there, and that might lead on to them offering you a job. So,
which was very much sort of your path, which is really.
And I'd even follow on from that and sort of say, look around. Don't just zone in and say, right, that's the one place I want to go. I'll go there. You've got to have a little bit of, do a couple of weeks at different places and just see what suits you best. Some places you might think, oh, this is really good, and then go somewhere else, and it might be 10 times better. You just have a look around and explore.
Amazing. Thank you so much. No, they are both such good advices, and you've given so much information into what it's like to undergo a degree level apprenticeship, because not everybody knows about them. So I just want to say a huge thank you to both of you for coming on, offering that advice, giving a little bit of insight into structural engineering as well as the apprenticeship journey as well. So thank you so much, and we look forward to and thank you so much, and look forward to chatting to you again soon.
Yeah, you too.
Thanks. So another thank you to Liam and Lee for that amazing information, and also a big thank you for Kieran, who's been working on tech behind the scenes today. And thank you to you all for joining in, and we look forward to seeing you next Tuesday at 4:30. Thank you.